So students, now only I explained you that natural selection in which the green beetles get a survival advantage because they are not visible, so they are not eaten up by the crows. As well, the red beetles are eaten up by the crows. And here in the chance survival, you can see instead of green there are blue beetles. So blue beetle, the population of blue beetle is there, and the population of red beetles is there. So here they are not getting any color benefit because blue color is also visible in the leaves, as well the red color is also visible in the leaves. So they are getting the chance survival. If an elephant food, if they were the red beetles are killed up by the elephant food, all the blue beetles get survive due to the chance. That is chance survival. Now one word I want to explain, that is a genetic drift. Genetic drift means the change in the gene's frequency in a small population irrespective of being beneficial or not. Just change in the frequency of genes. Here the color is not giving any advantage to the beetles. No. That is called as genetic drift. You can see the sudden change in the frequency of genes. I to explain you, there were the population of blue beetle as well as the red beetle, but sudden the change in the frequency of gene is due to the chance survival. There was an accident, and because of the accident, the blue beetles get more in number as compared as to the red beetles, because all red beetles get killed up by the elephant food. And next, that is acquired variation, that I explained you, acquired characteristics which you get acquired during the lifetime. If the beetle get unhealthy, if the first generation is unhealthy due to the lack of sufficient food, another generation definitely, if they are getting proper food, they will be healthy. Okay, so that is the acquired generation, that is not inherited, that will not pass on generation to generation. Okay students, so next topic we will study about, that is Darwin. So Darwin, the Charles Robert Darwin went as a naturalist around the world and found, and he do all his studies. He went around for the world, and he studied many things, and he gives some observations over this. He visited South America and many island of its coast, and there Darwin found many fossils resembled modern day organisms while others were different. Second, different areas, despite having similar climate, possess different flora and fauna. These are the important points that he observed during his studies. Next is, plants and animals of nearby islands are related, but they are different. Galapagos Islands, he found 13 species of finches. Finches are the birds, finch bird, which different types of beaks, food habits, and sizes. Darwin called Galapagos Islands as living laboratory of evolution. So after coming back, Darwin never went out of his country. He studied there, and he studied his collection and performed several experiments on plants and animals. In 1859, he published the theory of evolution in the form of book popularly known as The Origin of Species. So now, what are the postulates of this? His studies are. Next students, this is the theory of natural selection that was given by the Darwin in 1859. According to that theory, the nature select those organisms that have features favorable to their survival and differential reproduction, which is suitable for the nature. That organism will only survive. So the process continued over successive generation ultimately leads to the evolution, and the basic features of these theory are: first is overproduction. Overproduction, organisms which are having the high high biotic potential can produce very high number of offspring. The produce with the organisms which can produce more offspring that is the point of overproduction. Limitations: there is no increase in number of members of any population due to limitations of food and space. Okay. Next, struggle for existence. A struggle ensures amongst the members of species to obtain the optimum resources. So next is the variation. All organisms produce variation. Sexual reproduction. The organisms which reproduce through sexual reproduction are having the variation. Natural selection. those organisms survive and reproduce which have variation useful in the struggle for existence. Next, inheritance of variation and formation of new species. We know that the inheritance of variation means that will pass on from one generation to another generation. So more variation accumulate in the next generation. So accumulation of these variation leads to the evolution. So more scientists studies about this, like the in 1929 JBS Haldane, a British biologist, biochemist and geneticist. He studied, according to him, or he proposed that life must be originated from a simple organic molecules, and after very much physiochemical changes, the simple molecules get changes into the complex molecules, and thus it is also called as organic evolution. So these molecules, so basically according to Haldane, the life originated by the simple organic molecules, and these molecules might have originated or earned through a long series of physiochemical changes to more complex organic molecule. So there was that was brought about by the chemist, brought about by the chemical evolution. This is also known as organic evolution. Why this is also known as organic evolution? Because obviously this gradual change or development is from the complex form from the simpler form. It gets changes from the simple to complex. That is called as organic evolution. Next, Stanley L. Miller and Harold also give its explanation towards this evolution. See students, next is Haldane C. Urey and Stanley L. Miller also conducted an experiment. They gave in 1953 gave an experimental support to Haldane's theory of origin of life. That Haldane's Haldane concept was that complex substance arise from the simpler compounds. No, so they gave the experimental evidence for that. They created an atmosphere similar to that were existing on early Earth. Same atmosphere they created experimentally, that containing hydrogen, ammonia, methane, hydrogen sulfide and water vapor. This is the apparatus. Here they contains all this methane, hydrogen, ammonia, hydrogen sulfide and water vapor. But there is no oxygen. Over water in an airtight apparatus. This apparatus was airtight. This way maintained at a temperature just below the 100 degrees Celsius. Continuous sparks were passed through the mixture of gases. Continuous spark through the electric discharge. Continuous sparking or electricity passes through this mixture of gases to stimulate lightning. At the end of the week, they got 15% of carbon from CH4 had been converted to simple carbon compounds, including amino acids. That is the basic unit of protein. So that was the experiment that is performed by the Stanley L. Miller and Harold C. Urey. Okay, students. So this topic is not so important in this class 10. Basically, you should go through the Darwin theory and just see over the postulates. But you have only you have a reading over at the Stanley and Harold experiments. Okay, thank you for today's class. Go through both the videos, first and second, and after that complete your notes.